Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryamkaravavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. The Western world is, very familiar in creating new technologies, new gadgets, and all that. Indians are very good in inventing gods. We don't invent, new iPhone, this camera, this one, that. That's not our specialization. Indian specialization is to invent new god. The latest god that we have created is Lord Iyyappa.
How latest?
He's just about 400 years old.
Oh, that's right.
Known history. Because in the Puranas and all that, hardly you will find any reference of this god. There is no reference of Lord Iyyappa in Bhagavatam or in Vishnu Purana, Skanda Purana, those Puranas. Hardly we find any sort of references. And some of them believe that it has been deleted purposefully. Purposely it's been, deleted also. But then one god who has gained enormous popularity and appeal amongst the people is this Lord Iyyappa, or known as Sastha. There are many, many names he has. His very popular name is Hariharaputra. He is the son of Shiva and Vishnu.
Oh.
He is a son for Shiva and Vishnu. We get confused. Adipri sir. How is that possible? For which you need to know this Puranic stories, 2-3 stories have to be known for that. Only when you know those 3-4 stories we can fuse all that and understand this. The first one that you have to know is the story of Mahishasura. Devi Bhagavatam comes to that. Devi takes the form of Durga and destroys this demon by name Mahishasura. And this Mahishasura is the person, the demon with the buffalo head. Buffalo headed demon. This is Mahishasura. And his sister he had. Her name is Mahishi. She is also of that same, buffalo head. This Mahishi gets to know the destruction of her brother, Mahishasura. So once she gets to know that he is killed, and all the devas have helped in the destruction of, she wants to take vengeance. So she goes and she performs tapas. And in that tapas, she gets the boon from Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva appears, and when Lord Shiva comes, she asks for a boon. He says, who is this? And this Mahishi asks him that, I want to rule over all the 3 worlds. Heaven, earth, Padala, hell. All three worlds, I want to be the ruler. And I should not die. Krishna, this, Shiva says so, that is not possible. So she says, okay, I should be killed only by the son that is born to you and Vishnu. Right. And that son should have maintained brahmacharya for 12 years. And she puts conditions. Shiva says, yes, tatastu. And he goes away. And Mahishi starts dominating the devas. And all the devas get scared of her, they run away. They leave the heaven and they go away. This is one story you should remember. So, Mahishasura's sister, this is one. This is happened now, recently. Another one is the story of another Asura. This Asura is a very popular one. Mahishi may not be popular to most of us. But Bhasmasura is a very popular fellow. His original name was Brahmasura. He gained that name of Bhasmasura because of the power he gained. He got a power. Now, this Bhasmasura happens, one story, where he asks Shiva the boon that anyone's head I touch, that the person should burn to ashes. This is the boon I want. And Shiva says yes. The moment he says yes, this Bhasmasura says, I want to try it on you first. That's it. Because that is unconditional rule. Anyone, doesn't matter. There's no classes. There's no small asterisk, we find in the newspaper ads. 97% off. That will be a bold letter. And then there will be a small asterisk there. Invisible. Font size would be, 0.2. It will be the font size. Conditions applied. When Shiva gives boon, there is no conditions applied. He just gives. Anyone who touch the fellow will burn to ashes. And Shiva's, his life is in trouble now. So Shiva is trying to escape. He is running. So when he is running and he is hiding and he is escaping, Narada runs to Vaikuntha to inform, Vishnu, this is what's happening. Vishnu says, this fellow will not allow me to sleep properly. He's resting. Just now I has been resting. This fellow started now. Again, another trouble now. So Vishnu takes the form of a maiden, of a lady, a beautiful lady by name Mohini. And this Mohini, this is not the first time Vishnu is assuming that form. This is the second time he is assuming the form of Mohini. The first time when he took this form of Mohini was much earlier. Ages before. When these Devas and Asuras were to be fighting. And this fight was going on and on and on. Both the sides there is a tremendous loss. And this Asuras had one extra advantage. That's a law of nature. Nothing can be done. The law of life is this. The number will be more, the strength also will be more for the negative. The negative will always outnumber and outstrength the positive. So the number of Devas were 33,000. These Asuras were double the size of theirs. and they are far more stronger than the Devas. Asuras were strong, physically they are much more stronger than the Devas. Also, their Guru Sukracharya had one special knowledge. So morning there the fight will start. The battle between the Asuras and Devas will start. Somehow these Devas will manage to destroy about 7,800 Asuras one day. And the death toll of these Devas will be of about 700, 800, let's say. And just, it's not the case, it's much more than that. And night, what this Sukracharya would do is, he had this mantra called Sanjeevani mantra. He will chant that mantra and sprinkle water on all the dead bodies of the Asuras. Next day morning, their number will come back to the same. And these Devas were finding so difficult to manage the battle. So they asked what to do now. To which Vishnu said, look here, this milky ocean is there, Parkadal, where Vishnu is supposed to be lying. He said, if you churn this milky ocean, you will get Amrita. Once you guys drink that Amrita, you will not die. That is the only way that you can escape from the Asuras. Otherwise, this problem will be perennially going on and on and on and on. They said, okay. Now, if you have to churn the ocean, you need a stuff, right? They said, you bring one mountain. You put a mountain, mantra, that is a mountain. He said, bring that mountain and put it inside. And they had to lift the mountain and bring. Somehow these guys managed to lift the mountain and bring. When they brought the mountain, one basic knowledge is what? If you put a stone in water, what will happen to the stone?
Go down.
It will sink. These Devas were so brilliant, they didn't know this knowledge. They dropped the and it went inside. They said, ayyo, see, half should be inside, half should be outside. No, it should be slightly touching. That's about it. That's how you churn. Like, how you churn buttermilk. The curd to extract butter. If the whole stuff goes inside, how can you? It should be just little, it should go. They approached again Vishnu. That is the time Vishnu took the first, this avatar of Kurma avatar, tortoise. He took the form of a tortoise and held the mountain on his back so that these people can churn. To churn that ocean, what is needed? You need a rope, no? He said, take this Vasuki as the rope, the snake. That's a snake you can use. And you can't do it alone. Only Devas cannot do it. They needed the help of the Asuras also. Go and have a negotiation with them. Alliance. Many times we see that before election, after election and all that, the parties who have been standing against each other will collect. Because that's the only way to form government. Otherwise, how will you form government? Otherwise, president will take over. Once president takes over, you are finished. You see, after that, it's not possible. Not that, they are believers in democracy and all that. The parties, no political party believes in democracy. Don't ever get into this delusive beliefs. You see, whether if you had to form a government and all that, we say why? Because if we are not going to be forming the government, if Parliament is not going to be functioning, then Rashtrapati Bhavan will start functioning. Once Rashtrapati Bhavan starts functioning, after that these guys cannot come back. So they will never allow. Same way here. They have to collide. So for this thing, they said, let Asuras also come. And this Asura said, yeah, the Amrita comes, the Asuras knew what to do. Once Amrita comes, after that it is mine. And it's mine. The fight will come. So they said, okay, hold. Now, who is going to hold which side? There's a fight. Who is going to hold the tail part of it? Who is going to be holding the head part of it? The Asuras and Devas again fight. They said, compromise, man. It doesn't make any difference. Hold something. And they started churning. When they started the churning, the first thing that happened was what? The snake started emitting the poison. Before this churning could even start the process, that's where this visha that came in, the poison. When that poison came, both these devas and asuras dropped that and ran away. You know what to do. So they approached Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva took that poison and drank. Immediately Parvati held his throat and stopped it at the throat only, not in the mouth, the throat. And that poison turned the color of the throat into blue, became bluish. That's how this, snake poison, any poison works. They say it becomes bluish. That's where Shiva got this name called Neelakanta. Kanta means throat. This portion is called as Kanta. Neela is a blue. Blue-throated. Significance I'll tell you later. First, you get the story first. Right? Then we can go into the meaning of it. Now he drank that, they came back. And these two fellows started holding the things and they said, start the churn now. And they started churning. When they started churning, so many things came out of that. This one sword came, and then one disc came, and then one horse came, one elephant came. Each fellow took one thing. Each deva took one thing. The asuras didn't pay much attention to all that because they said nothing doing, man. We are not interested in all that. These devas took, I am taking this, I am taking this, I am taking this. They took. And finally, this Amrita came. As soon as this Amrita appeared, these asuras, they had a plan. They snatched that kalasa and ran away. The whole plan was done by the devas. But these asuras snatched Amrita and ran away, and they wanted to drink. And they kept there. But then the problem is, who is going to be distributing that Amrita? The fight came in amongst the asuras. That is the first time Vishnu appeared in the form of a lady, Mohini, the avatar of Vishnu. Another avatar of Vishnu, Mohini avatar. The form of a most beautiful lady. She appeared and she offered to distribute the Amrita equally. Look here, both the parties have fought, so equal share I will give. If you fellows believe, you give it to me. If you guys don't believe me, keep it yourself, you fight. By the beauty of that Mohini, this asuras agreed. And all this, he said, okay, sit in line. This side is all devas, this side is all asuras. They are sitting. When they are sitting, has to serve, right? Now, is being serving and serving and serving and serving. She is showing her beauty to the asuras, but the serving was done only to the devas. There is not an ounce of amrita has been given to the asuras. It's been given only to the devas. What is going on? One asura realized what this lady was doing. He said, look here, this guy, like in this olden days, in the marriage, when you go, they serve, And the serving, if you see all this matured people, you will find, immature person is the one who will come and serve all items. Paisam, that fellow will serve amateurs, newcomers, amateurs and all that. But in any pandi, if you go, nowadays it's not there. Nowadays it's all, buffet system only we have, stand in queue. Now here it's not like that. Those days they will find one fellow will come and serve ghee. Next time we go there, you will find always only the most experienced person in that entire troop alone will be allowed to serve ghee. Amateur will not serve, will not be allowed. So if you want anything, you ask the fellow who's bringing ghee. That's what I'm telling you. What is it now? When you see him taking, you see the speed in which he will take from the vessel, that spoon. Full spoon will be there. But when he is serving, you will find there will be 2 drops of ghee. Amazing technique. You need a tremendous experience for that. How he will take, the way he takes, you will feel like, my God, too much of ghee is going to come to my plate. You will not get anything. They are all descendants of Mohini. Only they can do it. You serve, because you will just take, one small cup only they will bring. 500 people they will serve. Ghee with that. Just a small cup. Because the most expensive one. That's why they don't give to anyone. Rice, ordinary fellow will come and serve. Not a big deal. Rice, sambar and all that is easy to serve. Ghee is the key. Same way, this lady is serving. Only the devas are getting. Asuras are not getting. One asura is smart enough to realize. Amongst the asuras, one brilliant fellow was there. The fellow said, what is this lady doing, man? My God. So, he said, first he served this line and then I'll come to this line. He got scared. Before it gets over, that happens to all of us, when we are standing in queue for taking gulab jamun. You will see 3 fellows before you standing in queue, buffet system. You will check how many gulab jamuns there on the plate. There are only 5 gulab jamuns in the plate. Right? And you are the 4th fellow standing. The 3rd fellow from you will be taking 2 gulab jamuns on his plate. You start getting tension here. Because whether they are going to replenish that or not also we don't know. When it gets over, will they bring it back or they'll close it and say that's all over, sir? We have no idea. And you will be praying all gods. I got this fellow standing next before me, 2 fellows should be having sugar. They should not be touching their gulab jamun and all that. You can't wait for all this. Same way, this fellow couldn't wait. If it gets over, what to do? Before it can come to his line. So he sneaked from the asura and sat in the Deva's side. And Mohini, as she is serving, this guy went and sat in between these two fellows. Where he sat was, the place is a wrong place he chose. He sneaked between Surya and Chandra. Lord Surya and Lord Chandra. And these two fellows, and Mohini is coming serving, you see, putting, tuck, 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 they are going on serving, because quickly they have to serve. Because you can't keep that fellows, under delusion for a long period of time. Quickly she is serving. And she served this fellow's plate also. And he is waiting to eat that. Right? As soon as it is served, tuck the fellow took and put in his mouth. Immediately, this Surya and Chandra told Mohini he is an asura. Before that, it's all happened in a flash. Okay. Before this Amrita can pass through his throat and reach his stomach, Mohini took the gata, the serving spoon she had, no? That spoon, yeah, that's like a gata she used. Gave one heavy thing on his head. The head broke into two parts. That is the two grahas we have today, this Rahu and Ketu. You heard about Rahu, Ketu, no? They have only head, there's no body for them.
Okay.
Rahu, Ketu has no body, only head is there for them. And they are not treated as full nor half. And they take vengeance on this Surya and Chandra because he is the one who exposed. Right? So that's how this Grahana time he swallows them. Grahana time they are supposed to be swallowing this Surya and Chandra one day. He captures and swallows them, chew them off. One day. That's about it. This Mohini avatar got over. This distribution is done. Last, he said, all the devas served and gave that, things to the devas. And she said, Katam. Washed her hand and went away. The Asuras got so angry. They were still fighting. From that day onwards only, all these Asuras were having been angry with Vishnu. Hardly you will find these people having any vengeance against Shiva. You will never find any Asura doing tapas towards Vishnu. As though Vishnu will never give any boon. They will do tapas towards Shiva or they will do tapas towards Brahma. They will not do. Why? Because they don't like this guy. Because this is the guy who destroyed. He is the one who spoiled the entire opportunity. Good chance they had, he destroyed it. So they are very angry with Vishnu. This Mohini avatar is the first time he took. Now that same Mohini form is what, one success formula, you get what you do. If one movie like Bahubali were to be successful, what happens? Series of movies will come, no? Like that. Bahubali part 1, Bahubali part 2, no? Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3 happens, no? 4, 5, 6, 7. Fortunately, this guy got old. Right. So, Rocky 25 is not there. Rocky 8, it's got over. So this guy, Bhasmasura is chasing Shiva. Don't forget that, okay? And Shiva is trying to escape this way, that way, running. Got tired of running. When he was chasing, this Bhasmasura suddenly sees this Mohini standing there and dancing. The moment he saw that Mohini, he forgot Shiva. He forgot the boon. Everything he forgot. He started inquiring, who are you? Who are you? He says, I am Mohini. What are you doing here in the jungle? No, my father deserted me. He said, why your father deserted you? What happened? He said, my father brought a boy to, marry me. I didn't like him. I said, I want to marry someone who is the most powerful person in the world. And that fellow I didn't like. Oh, so you are not married. So you are single. He said. And she said, yes, I am single. Okay. Now, if you want to search for someone who is the most powerful person in the world, that would be me, he said. Why? Lord Shiva is running scared of me. Oh, you must be the most powerful person there. Yes, but then I have one more condition. He said, what's the condition now? I will marry a person, not only most powerful one, he should also have a sense of artistic sense he should have. You should have some, musical sense in him. Oh, means what? He should be able to dance along with me. We'll go for party and all that. No, when we go for party and all that, we keep holding parties and they'll ask for dance. Now you can't come there and say, I don't know how to dance. No, I would love to have a husband who knows how to dance. He said, oh, if you're willing to teach me, I will learn. He said, okay, I'll teach you. Since I like you also, I'll teach you. But then you should do exactly as I am doing, okay? Replicate what I am doing, you will understand. It's very easy to learn dance. Yes. They said 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 1. They went on. Nowadays even this Bharatanatyam also taught like this only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all. All entire Bharatanatyam is taught only by number. Steps also. There's no the jati and all that is taught by numbers. So she was also teaching. As going on and on and on and on, he was getting more and more involved in the dance, and she was encouraging him to, oh, you are performing so nice, so beautiful. And you must see this, this some of them perform that on stage. These classical dancers, they actually perform that. Drama, they show. And they bring the dancer who comes as, this Smasura. Actually, he is a professional dancer. But the way he would dance, you won't believe that he is a professional dancer. Amazingly, they'll perform. And this lady was performing. He is also getting involved. At one point of time, he gave one mudra. In that mudra, the hand was touching his head. There's a mudra, the weird mudra. Nowhere we have found any mudras in Bharatanatyam where they touch their head. Some mudra she showed and she touched her head. And this fellow is supposed to do the same thing. No, so this guy also goes and touches his head. That's all. The fellow burnt to ashes. This Brahmasura, that's how he became Bhasmasura. And you have to imagine, see, Shiva, how he would feel. He was running for his life, okay? Now, this lady comes and saves him. How he will feel? So relieved. He came running and hugged Mohini without even asking who she is, what she is, who is nothing. Shiva didn't pay any attention to any one of those things. He came and hugged Mohini with so much of passion. That is where a child is born to these two. He is called Mahasastha. All this is not happening here, okay? All this has happened much earlier. They're about yugas earlier, perhaps. We don't know where, right? This Mahasastha who is born, the child had about 8 hands and 3 eyes. Like Shiva had 3 eyes, no? Like that. That child also had 3 eyes. Sastha is born. And the child is growing in Kailash. Father is growing there. And then so many stories were happening. And then, so many kings were coming and this world is going on, running and all that. This Sastha is there in the heavens. On earth, now we are coming to the historic period. In that period, we had one king by name Varaguna Pandya. In the south, they had 3 popular kingdoms: Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas. Now about the Cholas, we have lot of information today, even historically. About Pandyas, we don't have much history. And they have been keeping their headquarters. Their capital was Madurai. Madurai was the capital of theirs, and they are running the state. And then it was going on. In that, there was a king by name Varaguna Pandya. This Varaguna Pandya is a great devotee of Shiva. And that Varaguna Pandya gets the darshan of Shiva one day. And he asks, what is the boon you want? Shiva. This Pandya king, he says, sir, I have heard that you have shown Kailasha darshan to one of the devotees of Shiva, Upper Swamigal, Tirunavakar is a well-known Shiva devotee. There are 4 very popular, powerful personalities. He is one amongst of the popular, Shiva's devotees. Upper Swamigal. To him he had shown. Is it true? Shiva said, yeah, of course I have shown him that. He has got the vision. Can I also see Kailash? Not Kailash of... because now there are 2 Kailashas. Right? Now only Shiva has to show where is the second Kailash. First Kailash, this one and all, nobody knows where is it. Like that. Who is going to get the vision of Kailasa? This Varaguna Pandya gets the vision of Kailash. He is so thrilled. And Shiva is not satisfied because he has not asked anything for himself. He just has to see, that's all. He said, okay, what do you want? To which this Pandya king, he says, I would love to have you as my child.
Oh God.
Say, I would love to have you as my child. To, what it is to bring up a child. Godlike, a child. I wanted to experience that. Will you come as my child? Shiva said Tadastu and disappeared. And this happened some time back, and after a long period of time, there was a king in this Pandala Raja. Pandala is a current one which we are all familiar with now. They are not supposed to be. History and all I am not going into because they are not a big kingdom or anything. It's just a small kingdom there because of so many divisions and fractions and all that. This Pandya's kingdom has shrunk and divided and all those things and came into this portion. This Pandala, there was a king called Rajasekhara Pandya. This Rajasekhara Pandya is the reincarnation of this Varaguna Pandya. Now this Rajasekhara is not having an issue, and he is also a Shiva devotee. This is the time we have this Mahishi. This problem has been going on in the heaven. So much of turmoil because of her. And they approach Lord Shiva and they say, Sir, what to do now. He said, okay, now is the time. And he called his son Sastha and said, hey, now it's a time for you to take birth as a child. Go as a child and to my devotee, and he will bring you up. Once you reach the age of 12, then you kill this Mahishi. Then come back. This is the order of the father. And the Sastha says, okay, I will take birth. There's no problem. So this Rajshekara king, the Pandya, the king is going into forest for hunting. When he is going for hunting in this close to the river Pamba river, it is supposed to be one of the most auspicious one. You know that no, Kerala state, that entire land, Kerala land was created by Parasurama. It's supposed to be. That's why it is called Parasurama Kshetra. This Parasurama is the one who created that space. When he created this, he wanted one river to be flowing in his, and that river should be having the touch of all the auspicious rivers in the state. So he takes all that, puts together and makes a river that is called a Pamba river. Even now it is there, Pamba river. And that is the place where he is going for hunting. He hears a child cry in the wilderness, in the forest. And he goes and sees the child, and the child is having a mala around his neck. And the child is there. No one is around. So the king doesn't know what to do, and he brings the child back to his palace, brings up. And as usual, we all know, once the child starts growing, tragedy started coming into the family. The queen was so happy, everything is fine and all that. He was not having an issue, no. The moment this child came into him, and he is given the name Manikanta. Mani means a gem, the garland. And he had that around his neck. Therefore, he is called as Manikanta. And he was growing. And he gets the queen gets conceived and she gets a child. Now there is a problem. Adopted child and own child. There are two kids there. And in the Pandya kingdom, they have one rule. Even now they have the rule. The rule is, if the king dies, not the first son get to become the king. The one who is eldest in the family becomes the king. The eldest one in the family right now is Manikanta. That is a problem. So the minister finds a method. He says the best way to get rid of this guy is you put on act as though you have some stomach pain. And for that stomach pain, there has to be a medication. That medicine should be mixed and given. For that mixture, you need the milk of a tiger. Tiger's milk is what is needed. So if you get a tiger's milk, I can mix the medicine and give, the problem of the queen will disappear. And the king gets so confused. Sir, we do kill tigers, but then when we go into the forest, we kill the tiger and bring. Who is going to be capturing the tiger and then milking the tiger and bringing that milk? Now, ask something which is possible, man. But then the minister says, this is the only option, sir, there is no other option. And this Manikanta comes and offers to the king that I will go and bring. You don't worry about it. And he comes into the forest. When he comes into the forest in search, That is the time all the devas come and request him to come to the heavens to kill Mahishi. And he goes and he kills that Mahishi, and as a gratitude, Indra himself takes the form of a tiger and comes. All the devas also take the form of a tiger, and Manikanta comes not with tiger's milk, he comes with the battalion of tigers. Imagine, like I used to tell these people, the pets are allowed in the apartments, they say. We should have a pet of an elephant in the house. One fellow should have lion. Right? My house, you have cat, I have, lion. And imagine that, the lift opens and there is a lion there. Another fellow should have a pig also. Pig is my pet here. You have a pet like this, I have a pet like, what's your problem? Each one will have one thing like that. This fellow brings, imagine, the entire army of tigers entering the state. That is the time this fellow reveals his identity to his father and teaches his father and says, now I have to leave. The father says, no, I can't allow you to go. Now this fellow is in trouble. Shiva, who is the original father, is calling him there. He says, job well done, come back. The fellow who brought him up here says, don't go. Now what to do? That is the time this Manikanda tells the king, father, Rajshekar Pandey, that I will be here in the form of an idol and build a temple for me here. And he gives. All the stories were in, you may be wondering from where you are getting all the stories. All the stories are there in this text called Sastha Upakhyan. There is a text. There you have all this story, which is supposed to be authored by Vyasa. This references there. So that temple was built.
Where it is temple?
In Kerala.
It's still there.
Still there. Which is known as Sabarimala temple.
Oh, Sabarimala.
That is the Sastha temple. That is the Iyyappan temple.
Okay.
And it had, this uniqueness about this Sastha is it's the combination of Shiva, who is the form of Jnanam, knowledge, and Vishnu is personification of protection. So Sastha, who is the son of Vishnu and Shiva, has the perfect combination of what Krishna says in the Gita. I take birth every yuga, time and again. I come here for what? He says two things are there. What is this? One, to the destruction of the wicked, and to the protection of the good. Both he is doing. That's why Sastha is supposed to be a very popular, a very powerful deity. He is the combination of these two. Shiva also is there, Amsha is there, also Vishnu's Amsha also there. Since there are two Amshas there in Sastha, he is very powerful. And even now we have the temple and people go. There that puja vidhanam also is being given by himself. How people should come to his temple. and he is going to be living there as this. Then we have another story there along with. That is, this Mahishi who is in the form of a Rakshasi, her original state was Leelavati. Her original name was Leelavati. That Leelavati, who is that Leelavati? Leelavati is the Amsa of Saraswati, Lakshmi and Durga. Like we have these three gods, no? Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, together in the form of the Attatreya. Same way, this Parvati or Shakti, this Saraswati and Lakshmi, together is Leelavati. That Leelavati was cursed once. Because of that curse, she has taken this form of a Rakshasi. And now this Lord Iyyappa has killed her, destroyed her. She gets back her original state and she says, I can go back. To which he says, now even now there is a lot of misunderstandings we have. Lot of stories around this, Sabarimala, Iyyappan stories and all that. Lot of them think there is a Amman temple is there. Maligapurath Amman. There is a temple just in the corner along with that Sabarimala temple. So those who go there, first they go to see Sabarimala and then go to this Maligapurath Amman. Many of them believe that this Mahishi had got back her original form. No? When she gets back her original form, she requested Manikanda to marry her. Now you marry me. To which he refused. Because he is going to be staying as brahmachari. That is the decision being taken by him. That is his choice. He is not a sannyasi, remember. He has not taken sannyas. Nor is this. He is just staying as brahmachari, full stop. Brahmacharya vrata. Since he is staying as brahmachari, they say this lady. And then Manikanda is supposed to have given her one exception. That is, every year devotees will keep coming. Devotees come, devotees come, devotees come. Every year when the devotee comes, the first time the person goes to the temple, he is supposed to be called as Kanni Swami. The first one who is coming. First timer is called a Kanni Swami there. And Kanni Swami is supposed to be taking one stick. And he will take that stick and place it in a particular spot. The belief is, every year, before this Makara Sankranti day, she will come and see. And if any year where no stick is placed, which means no new devotee has come to see Lord Iyyappa, that time I will marry you. So she comes every year. It's even now the tradition is there. One elephant will come, see up to that spot. It will come up to that spot and go back. But what they don't understand is, this has got nothing to do with all this. There is no such stories. There is no such thing has ever happened. Right? He has never given such promises or anything, please. Ask me, then who is coming and who is going? Huh? It is not that Maligapurath Amman, that women deity is coming. It is Lord Iyyappa, he comes and goes back. He comes and sees and goes back. The problem is they think it is the lady who is coming. It's not the lady deity, because people should pay little attention to the details here. When they see the deity who is kept on top of the elephant, that will have mustache and all that. I don't think no lady deity will have mustache and all that. Weird, things. And not to talk about the latest, issues. There's, Supreme Court coming in and all that, cases. Women should not come. All this case and all that. That confusion is there. Right. Now there is a rule. There is a Vrata rule being given by the deity himself. He has given, if you are going to come, you come. Like certain parties we all have, no? Isn't it? Even here we have, isn't it? In Bangalore we have a club. You cannot walk into the club with a dhoti. You know that? In Bangalore, you cannot go with a dhoti inside. Few years back it happened to one of the, minister or someone who went in, they refused. They said, get out. They said, this is the rule, means this is the rule. Nothing can be done. Right. Now, or else you change the rule. Then they have to form a committee and then, there has to be this, then change it. Then it is okay. But as on date, this is the rule, sir, it will not be allowed, means it will not be allowed. Same way, there is a rule being given for a person who has to go to this temple. Unlike other temples, this temple cannot be visited by anyone in any manner. There is a rule. The rule is the person has to follow certain disciplines for about 48 days. 48 days of discipline. 48 days they have to take bath twice. They have to eat only one meal a day. They are not allowed to eat more than one meal. And then they have to do puja twice a day. And they are not allowed to wear chappal. They are not allowed to, they are allowed to sleep only on the floor. So many rules are there. Now, come to this issue of, this, can women go there? Not allowed. Full stop. Nothing can be done. This is the rule of that temple. That's the rule of the temple. Now, we cannot go there and interfere. But of course, today, more than the Shastras, today, Supreme Court will decide what you should cook in your house. If Supreme Court decides today is chapati in your house, you should have chapati only, full stop. Nothing can be done. Right? So this is the rule today. The Supreme Court says that means we have to adhere to that. There is no option. But then, of course, still the case is going on for higher appeal and all that, I suppose. But the problem here is this. When there is a rule, the rule is what? Who decides that? Who is the authority for what? Now, Ishwaran can talk about Vedanta. Imagine Ishwaran were to give a lecture on quantum mechanics. Unless I have studied quantum mechanics. What is your qualification, Ishwaran? BCom. You have studied commerce. Not even BSc mathematics. Right? Basic physics also you have not studied. Because all my knowledge of physics is only up to 10th standard. After 10th standard, there is no physics. Because after 10th, you move into commerce stream. Once you moved into commerce stream, where you have the knowledge? But then how can you be authority on that? Across the dining table, I can talk about quantum mechanics, chaos science. I can give a lecture on chaos science. That is called gossip. You see, that doesn't make a person authority on the field. Now, who has to be the authority on which field? Now, this entire stream now, slowly this disciplines, once we have started compromising, all these issues will come up. Why can't? I have seen myself, people, previous day evening they put that mala, next day morning they go to the temple. and you have to go by walk, 35 kilometers or so, that is, mountain path. You have to tread in the jungle and go. All the stories and all this is one thing, but essentially what we understand here is this. Essentially what we realize is the value of these deities is because of people who go there. If the people who are going there were to be compromising, slowly the what we call as that Sannithyam will disappear. The divinity in that space will disappear. It will go away. You can't expect that to be standing there all the time. You can't experience it.
But I went there.
Yeah, people go there now. That's what my
Not
point
now.
is. They say, I said, not now.
I went at the age of 40.
40.
And they stopped me on the way.
They'll stop you.
Then I went up. And they said, don't stand in front of the temple. Stand behind. I said, okay. Because I still won't leave. That's the problem. Not that I wanted to go. He said, nothing there. Come on, go.
It is not allowed.
I know.
They don't allow actually.
Yeah, they were,
Because there is a rule there.
yeah,
Since there is a rule, you follow the rule.
yeah,
See, there are so many places where men are not allowed to go and do worship,
yeah.
Kamakya temple, men are not allowed.
Kamakya temple, no?
Men are not allowed. You can't go there. You can't ask a man to go and do puja there. He will say, get out.
Oh.
You won't even enter the temple there. So
But I heard
it's not allowed.
But I heard that Ambani's goes every year.
Not allowed. Those, there are many temples like that. But going, it's all, more than, mystical, more than philosophy, more than religion. Politics and sociology has come into picture. This is where we should be able to distinguish between spirituality is different, sociality is different. Now you can't bring social into spiritual nor spiritual into social. Of course there is a link. You mean to say there is no link between science and economics? Technology and economics? There is a link, no? Correct? But none of you will say physics, you will call it as pure science. Economics, will you call it as pure science? You mean to say there is no science behind management? Of course there is science behind management. Of course there is laws behind management. Laws behind leadership. But still, no one will say management is pure science. You see, science belongs to a different domain, spiritual belongs to different domain. Same way, social belongs to different domain. The social problems cannot be brought into this spirituality and religion. Social issues, women's liberation, this, that, and all is a social issue. Now, just because women can enter the temple, you mean they say they are all liberated? There is no problem for them. All problems solved. There was a time once they said women should also be working. Why you are denying women from working? Women also allowed to work. Yes, today women also are allowed to work. Correct. Have we solved everything? No. We have solved one problem. We have created another problem. See, solution to a problem should not be creating a new problem. Isn't it? Now we are saying what? Kids where both the parents were working are not able to find enough time to be spent to the kids. Kids have been brought up by nannies than the mothers. And the lady also says, look here man, I go to office and I come back, I am also tired. He says, I go to office and come back, I am also tired. Then who's going to do that? Who's going to be managing the house? Therefore, what do we do now? Zomato, Swiggy will decide. And then we say what? Sir, health issues are coming now. People are not getting good food. Kids are not having enough this, enough this. All these problems is because of what? Now, are we going to go back and say, no, we should not do that? I'm not saying this. All that I'm explaining is what we want. Doing something to resolve an issue, we have to ensure that our solution is not creating a new problem and a more complex problem. If your solution is going to create a new and more complex problem, then that cannot be treated as a good solution. Now, what is this connection to do with that? Okay, by you going there, what are you going to achieve? Okay, you go to the temple. Like we say, no, you go to Tirupati temple. Tirupati temple, everybody is allowed. You go there. Now, what has happened to you? Huh? Are we able to create one more Annamacharya? Huh? One more Mirabai? We are not able to create one more Mirabai. Then what is the point? This political problem, social evils are different from spiritual places. Now these are all spiritual places where you go for your spiritual problem. That is why particularly this Lord Iyyappa is a place where I am talking about it. Other places I am not going to talk. Because every god when you go, you will find gods having certain mudras. You find all these gods showing you either Abhaya Hasta, where they will be keeping the hands like this, or they will be keeping hands like this. If they keep hands like this is called Varada Hasta. Means whatever boon you are asking, I am going to give. If they say keep like this is called Abhaya Hasta. Don't fear. Don't worry. Now you go to Lord Iyyappa temple, right? The first statement you will find there is Tattvamasi. The only temple, in no other temple you will find Tattvamasi there. In all other places you will find, God's name written. Namah Shivaya will be written, Muruga will be written, Narayana will be written, Govinda will be written, everything will be written. But to write Tattvamasi, or else it should be associated with a particular mata. Kanchi Mat and all, if you go, they will have the Shankara Mats. If you go, a particular thing is associated to that particular one, so that will be presented there. But that has got nothing to do with the temple actually. This Iyyappan temple you go, the God which such unique one, this God, Lord Iyyappa. You will find this Lord Iyyappa idol, if you see, picture, if you see, he will have only two hands. All other gods will have four hands or more hands. This Lord Iyyappa will have only two hands. Right? Two. God with no weapons. Is only God with, in that idol, if you go there, of course, he has the Adi Sastha had 18 and he had about 18 weapons around him. That is a different one. I am not talking about that Adi one. Adi one nobody had seen. Right? Now this Iyyappan you see, he has two hands. He is very much like human. And also you will find him not having any weapon around him. No weapons. Even Hanuman will have what? Gada with him. You will never find Hanuman without Gada. Either he will be next to him or he will be holding it. All pictures of Hanuman you see. Every one of them will have. This fellow, nothing. 3. Neither Varadahasta nor Abhayahasta. Fascinating one. What is he showing? He just shows Chin Mudra. Only one mudra for him. Other hand, okay, what is he doing with the other hand, sir? Nothing. It's just hanging there. That's all. Other hand is simply hanging. Showing his mudra is shown only with one hand. That is what? Chin Mudra. He is slightly even better than even the Dakshinamurti. You see? Even Dakshinamurti is not coming to this height. Because Dakshinamurti, when you see itself, you won't find him like human. He is treated as most human God. Fascinating God this. And very close to humanness. And no promises of anything. Like, there are designated temples we have. You have this dosha. Naga dosha you have. What you should do? They'll say, Karnataka, they'll say what? Go to this Koke Subramanya temple. You do parihara there, you done. And then you have another problem, they'll say, go to that temple, go to this temple, go to that temple. One fellow came and did some tapas in that temple, he cleared his sins. So many stories you will find around all the temples in the world. This Iyyappan temple is the only temple in the entire gamut of temples that we have where no promises of anything worldly. Absolutely nothing. He is not going to give you anything other than what? Jnana. Nothing else. Anything worldly, you cannot go to him. I want my problem solved, I want this, I am feeling so low, I have this, nothing. You go to him only for one thing. What is it now? Unless you are interested in liberation, mukti, don't come to me, he says. That is Lord Iyyappa. Right? That's the uniqueness of this God. Where there is no most human, no promises of either Abhayahasta or Varadahasta, and no weapons around him, no wealth around him. Even Ganesha, you will find lot of wealth around him. Even Hanuman, you will find him with so many ornaments around him. Will be there. But this Lord Iyyappa, you see, the temple also. The idol has nothing in it. He says, I am simply sitting here. Those whoever comes, I am going to tell them what? Tattvamasi. That is at 18 steps that you cross. 18 tattvas are there. And these 18 tattvas are given in various steps. Every step is referred to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And the very, very, interesting, connections they give to that 18 numbers. Very mystical number that is. Very many interpretations are there for that. Some of them they go to the extent of saying that these 18 steps are nothing but these 18 chapters of the Gita. Every step is one chapter. You cross. You understand 18 chapters, what do you finally come to an understanding, sir? Tattvamasi. So that is what is written there. Tattvamasi on top. And what is his real nature? The real nature of his is Jyoti Swarupa. And this Lord Iyyappa is actually worshipped by the natives in the jungle. And we interfere. This is another one they have. Another, interpretation they have. Which makes a lot of sense, actually. This Lord Iyyappa was actually worshipped not by the people living in the cities. He is actually worshipped by the people living in the jungle, natives. And once these guys started going in there, slowly we chase them out. And from the distance they see, that Jyoti, that Mahara Shankaranti evening they see one, lamp coming. And they think that is Iyyappa appearing in this form. Nothing of that sort. All this is what is just those people standing there, they do puja to this god. So when they are showing Arati is what we are seeing. So why we are going all the way from here to the temple is not, importance is not to the idol there. As much as the importance given to that Jyoti. What is referred as Shankaranti day evening. Mahara Shankaranti evening they see that. And all these devotees go to have the darshan of that Jyoti. Which is lit not by, and of course we have started making stories saying that it is devas who are doing this just to divinize it, that's about it. But factually it is not done by those devas or anything. It's all done by those people only. And today what has happened, sir? We have destroyed that entire population of that. Since nobody is there now. So what is going on? These Devasthana people themselves sent few guys there. And they do Arati from there. And we have to see that. But essentially, Lord Iyyappa is not belonging to all of us. He belongs to the natives. They have the first right on him than all of us. But it's been, slowly taken over by us, and we start seeing the value of all these things. Then they started digging out to get the material. Now you can go back and see, in the beginning I said, hardly we have any reference of this god in the Puranas. Why? Because Puranas refer to this one. Later stage, when we have absorbed Iyyappa also. And there's another one also they have. Lord Iyyappa is nothing but Lord Buddha. Actually, it's another story. Iyyappa actually belongs to Buddha. Buddha is the one who is there actually, and then these people have adapted that. It's another school. Yeah, but of course we don't have any proper evidences for all those things. But the story is so much so. But essentially what we learn from this is this. It is the combination of these two. The first deity where they had this combination, and the only Hindu deity where there is no division or demarcations here. Everyone is allowed here. In all other places, they had certain demarcations. Divisions are very clear. This is Shiva, this is Vaishnava. The division of Shiva, Vaishnava, that, Shiva devotees and Vaishnava devotees, that fight was always there. This is the only place where there is a fusion. And they went one step ahead of that. And they fused even Islam into it. And the best friend of Lord Iyyappa is a Muslim. That's why every devotee who starts this journey, has to go and meet that friend who is known as Babar. There is a mosque. Babar Masudi is still there. Mosque is there. People go around that, only then they begin their journey into the jungle. That 35 kilometer, journey, walk. They start the journey after taking permission from his friend only, almost like. It's a fusion thing. Fascinatingly been fused and brought in. So in that sense, we will say there is a lot of relevance. And my suspicion is this. That's why attacks is more on that. To destroy. Because once that is dismantled, then it is easier to dismantle other things. So this is my theorization. But then it is so interesting to see that where there is this union of Shiva and Vaishnava. This one. And the best part of this sastha is you cannot ask him anything other than knowledge. He will not give. And he shows that very clearly. He says, at least the other hand he could have been keeping, no either case. One hand. One hand is showing Chin Mudra, okay, Jnana Mudra. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the symbolism of mudras and all that. Right? Jnana Mudra. Right? So, knowledge. I'm going to give you this transcendental knowledge, not this. That's why he is referred as Guru. He is the Guru for all of us. This Lord Iyyappa. So that's a sastha. Has very many names. And he is considered to be the person who is protecting the village also. He is in the form of Ayyanar in various south. If you go, every village will have one temple. Ayyanar temple, Sastha temple and all that. Particularly Tirunelveli side and all, if you go, you will find every 2 kilometers you will find one temple like that. It's very popular deity. He's gaining tremendous popularity now.
Kerala side.
And actually he is a Tamil god. Stationed in Kerala. But he is Tamil. He is Pandya king. That's what the Pandala family even know that that descendants are there. Pandala kings descendants are still there. And they say that, I am not saying this. They say they belong to Tamil. But none of them know Tamil. They speak only Malayalam. They don't know language Tamil. But they claim themselves to be the descendants and they are trying to trace back, they say, their connection. And they have come up to 17th century. They have come up to that. More than that they couldn't do. Even now it is there. Lot of stories are there around it.